Hello, English 431. What you see behind me, of course, is Table Mountain. We were just there yesterday, had a lovely time. The flowers, as you can see, are exploding with color. Make sure you give yourself a little bit of a break this week so that what you can do is maybe go enjoy Table Mountain and some of the natural resources that surround us here in Butte County. Hey, so let's talk about this week's 431. I'm going to go to my share screen very quickly and hopefully guide us through a couple of things. So what we see right here, of course, is this is week 9, and we're starting to think about collaboration because one of the things that happens in workshop groups is not necessarily just that a mentor works with a student. As we've talked about in different contexts, and as has become clear from the extravagant notes that you've taken on your workshop groups so far, one of the sole differences, one of the major differences in terms of how one works in a group as opposed to individually is this notion of collaboration, which is a stretchy term to encompass any number of different things. You know, I've written articles with other people that have been published. We have been collaborating. We are equals. We sometimes sit next to each other. Sometimes we're in the same Google Doc at the same time, and we are writing together. That's one form of collaboration. Another form of collaboration is, of course, a more experienced peer, someone Vygotsky would call a more capable peer, working with a person who's in the midst of some kind of writing revision process. Maybe they've reached a stumbling block. They have reached a point where they can no longer continue without getting some clarification from people. So those two people are kind of figuring out how best to attack a revision for a particular paper. It's still one draft, but it is the authors, not the mentors. Same kind of collaboration that's happening? Well, maybe not. Then we get a third kind, perhaps. We get that kind of collaboration that is a number of people coming together for a common cause. That is to work on a draft or a set of drafts together and maybe to take home some ideas that they can use themselves. All of these are encompassed by that umbrella term called collaboration. So what we're doing in this week, we are looking at Harris's article, Collaboration is not collaboration is not collaboration, Writing Center tutorials versus peer response groups, for guidance on the different kinds of ways in which we might look at the one-on-one peer mentoring that happens in a writing center, and on the other side, the kind of the group dynamic as it evolves. At some point in a writing center tutorial, of course, I'll just say really quickly, because I was sharing my screen with you the entire time. I was doing a little mini lecture. A mentor will work with a student and will offer guidance and support. Now, maybe that still happens in a workshop group, but of course, what a mentor wants to do in a group context is to be able to do something additional. That is to encourage other people to make commentary on that author's work. You're getting what I'm saying here, right? In different kinds of ways, the goal would be not to necessarily just give people the answers, but to set the conditions or the terms or create the ecology, like the Table Mountain ecology behind me, create the ecology so that students can start to work together, can start to share ideas, can collaborate, right? So that's what we're about. And the readings for last week and into this week and the next week after that will be designed for you to think through how collaboration in a writing group occurs and the specific practices that we can look at and describe in terms of how we ourselves can become those mentors in the future. So this is the writing assignment that we're now in. I am glad that most of you were able to get to someone else's workshop group, and I'm glad that that went well. I had email conversations with several people who just wanted clarification on how to make this work, and I think overall it went well. Now, if you didn't get to one, it's not too late necessarily, or if you want to visit that one again the next time they have a meeting, it's not going to be too late. As you see right here, I will share screen again. Week 10 should also be, April 5th through 9th, should also be a week in which those writing groups meet. If you want to do a follow-up, if you want to do, yeah, week 10 right here. Sorry, I'm just my Zoom foo today. My ninja Zoom skills are just lacking today. Week 10 studying writing groups will provide you that chance to go back and see what's going on in that group once again for maybe more data, more description, more detail for your paper. But let's remember what we're trying to do with this paper. I have given you a list of 20 valued practices, and you see them right here. The 20 valued practices, of course, were designed with tutoring and writing centers in mind. However, the value to them, of them to us, should, I think, be clear. That is, the same kinds of things occur in terms of specific practices and in terms of what a mentor might do to set up those practices and make sure that they happen in any particular writing group. So what does this mean? I am hoping that you're starting to think about, okay, what did I see in that group? Did I see establishing rapport with the writer? That's cool. Did I see asking questions and use directives to engage the writer in active learning? Who was doing that? How were they doing it? Did I see creating opportunities for the writer to demonstrate learning by talking, practicing writing strategies and problem solving? Again, the goal of this paper will be to compare what you see in your own group to what you have seen in this new group, but to focus in, to really isolate one practice from this list of 20 valued practices to focus your paper on. I am really impressed with how you are keeping the fire lit in this class. I am really excited to read all of the different kinds of feedback you provide to each other. I think you're doing a tremendous job supporting each other as learners. And I'm hoping what we're doing in this class is getting to the point where you might really embrace a set of practices for working with writers and writing, either in the tutoring center, in the writing center, or in English programs in different kinds of ways. I am just so excited to see the kinds of work that you have already done and will continue to do in this class. And it just makes me super happy. Final thing that I'll say, I read over your papers, and in the last week I have given everyone feedback. If you would like to revise those papers, I would love to receive them. The nuts and bolts of revision are as follows. I hope that you take and look over my comments. If you have questions about those comments, please get in touch with me, send me an email or something like that. That would be totally fine. I'd love for us to communicate about your paper and about what you think's going on in it. If you don't have questions about my feedback, then go ahead and start to revise if you would like to. Now, you'd like to because you want a better grade. You'd like to because you'd like to finish off the draft. You'd like to because you want the piece of writing to be better than it was, but that is your choice. If you're feeling just too tired at this point, too traumatized by a crazy pandemic year, It is no big deal. You're all doing fine in the class. But if you get the fire and you want to start revising, please do revise. And when you feel like you've gotten to that point where you just need someone else to look at it, I can be that person. Send me the link once again via Google Docs. And I would suggest just revising within the document that you've already shared with me. That way I can see very easily what you've added since the last time I read it. Then I will look at it with a fresh set of eyes. I will look at what you've added. I will be able to find it very easily because of the versioning that Google Docs does in all of its documents. And I'll be able to give you some more feedback. I imagine within 1 or 2 revisions that you all should be in wonderful shape and can really turn your attention to the other kinds of things that are going on in this class. That is this new paper that's coming up in 2 or 3 weeks, and then a final reflection. That will be it for this class. So get in touch with me about any things that you're thinking about in terms of the draft, in terms of this new paper, or other kinds of ideas that you've got about your observations, and we'll take it from there. Questions or concerns, just hit me up. Okay, so I hope you all are well. I hope you're doing well, that you had a spring break that was restful, if you needed rest. And I hope that we can hit this back half of the semester with some focus and keep the energy going for the rest of the semester. Take care and thank you.